Hi, welcome to the first episode of the Home Movie Club. We're a group of friends and neighbors who are going to get together and watch a movie at random. We've got a bunch of movies listed in this little bucket of popcorn, and we'll pick one out, watch it together. We all have different levels of experience with movies and interest in movies, so hopefully we'll have a little diversity and we'll be able to chat and play off each other and figure out what we like about movies and what we don't. I'm Anthony.
I'm Noelle.
I'm Andy.
I'm Erin.
And without further ado, let's pick our first movie.
I'm nervous.
I know.
Alright, here we go.
It's a big moment.
First movie, Ferris Bueller's Day
Yes.
Off.
Pretty good, solid choice.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
It's a good first pick.
80s
I like
classic.
Have you
This is
seen
good.
it? Have you
Yes.
seen it? Have
Yes.
you seen it?
Yeah, I've
okay,
seen it.
all
Okay.
four of us have
Yep.
seen it?
Yep.
Great.
So,
Good start.
so cool. We're going to watch it and then we'll report back.
They bought it. Incredible. One of the worst performances of my career, and they never doubted it for a second.
What do we think?
I think it holds up. I
Yeah?
think it's still a really enjoyable film to watch.
Awesome. Cult classic.
Cult classic.
Cult
Okay.
classic.
Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, it's good.
She
Good?
did love it.
Well, no.
Wait a sec.
But Erin was also watching it like with her kids nearby and like having
yeah.
so that can't help but play into
A
like
little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But why good and not great and not terrible?
Because it's not terrible.
Okay. So why
And
is
I
it...
didn't think it was terrific.
Okay.
Did you ever think it was terrific?
No. As it turns out, I'm not sure I've ever watched it the whole way through.
What?
Oh.
I can understand that though. It's
Okay.
one of those you catch on like TNT or something, and you're like, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I
There's
didn't
probably less swearing in that version.
Yeah,
Yeah,
much
that's
less.
true.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
1985, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have TV.
right.
It surprised me how much swearing there was.
Yeah, it was a lot for
Yeah.
Yeah.
PG-13 movie in 1985.
Yeah.
It's a lot of swearing,
Yeah.
but
Okay, have you guys heard about the theory that it's all in Cameron's head and it's like...
Yes.
Okay.
no.
Okay.
Actually, I've never heard that.
So the whole idea is like in the beginning when Cameron is in his bed with all the cold medicine and stuff, he actually overdoses himself with cold medicine.
So
And
he's hallucinating basically.
it's basically all hallucination.
Where are you? I'm taking the day off. Now get dressed and come on over.
Can't, stupid. I'm sick.
That's all in your head. Come on
Scene
over.
in the pool where he kind of attempts suicide.
Okay.
And Ferris Bueller represents like the guy he wants to be, like the ego and
Cool,
the id.
slick, always gets it right.
Right, and like is smart enough.
Absurdly gets it right.
Well, smart enough to like hack into the school's computer from home, and smart enough to plan this whole thing and do these last-minute phone call deals that people can't get through. And then Sloane is like the girl that he likes in school, but he's too shy to talk to. And so at the end, when he finally destroys his dad's car, that's him finally saying like, all right, I'm my own man. I'm going to take responsibility, and I'm going to...
Yeah, the whole theme through the movie is finding yourself and being yourself and figuring out how to make that work.
Which is crazy because the main character... This is one of the few films I think I've ever seen where the main character has no arc.
No arc.
He doesn't
No.
learn anything. He
Unchanged.
doesn't grow.
Everybody else is growing through his presence.
And
like
he's
he
been-
helps
he's-
every other.
It's like he is at his peak.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do
And
you
he's just
want your
there.
kids to be him?
No.
You know, I gotta think like. Okay,
Well,
he
but yes
ditches
and no.
school.
Yes
Yeah,
and no.
yes and no, it's fair. He ditches school to do things that are far more educational than anything that was actually happening in the school.
And I think that was
system.
very well, like, back and forth because the teachers were boring as can be.
Right, well, and their content was really good, but they're like nothing that was
Delivery was
happening was preparing those young people for anything. So he creates this day that is like enriched, right? He is charming and arguably manipulative.
Oh, he's a sociopath.
Extremely manipulative.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like the most manipulative person you could ever meet.
I know, but like
With no remorse.
No remorse.
No remorse.
We're taking
right.
your dad's $300,000 Ferrari. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Well, he doesn't see that there are negative consequences of things.
That's true.
So I don't think he's had an experience where remorse has to be into play.
Well,
I
and he
think
never gets any comeuppance either.
none.
Yeah.
Like, well, even
He
like
had that moment at the end though, where the principal threatened him with another year of school, and then you could see it in his eyes.
Sure.
Maybe there's gonna be consequences this time.
and then
And then nothing.
And then nothing. His sister, who
Yeah.
is out to
His-
get him the whole movie.
His twin.
His twin. We think it's
We think.
twin.
we think
I guess-
it makes sense. I mean, in terms of their
Right.
like being so like diametrically opposed to one another for them to be twins.
I guess it turns out all you need to do is make out with Charlie Sheen to change the whole perspective.
I'm still not going to.
No.
No,
I
I,
still
No,
choose
me
no.
neither.
no, I mean,
Not that that's a
I'm with Noelle on this
Yeah.
one.
Good.
well, Erin?
No.
No.
I don't know, you hesitated.
I mean, it's not even
I mean,
that
I
you,
thought about
like,
it,
Well,
and I chose no.
I appreciate you
Choose
thinking
pause,
about it.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I don't.
marriage.
Nice. Okay, so what next? What else?
Well, for me, I think the movie is a very playful movie. It's one of those that you can watch several times and just kind of go, oh yeah, that was fun. Totally outrageous, but a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, like, if you're going to sit down and watch a fun movie, this is a good one. It's an easy one to pick up and just, it's on Netflix. You can get it if you have some, it's not, you don't have to search for it. It's a cult classic.
Well, and it's one that you don't need to be, like, engaged in.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you can come in and come out. You can be in the other room. You can
Right.
make food.
Yeah.
It's just background noise sometimes. It's good.
In terms of it being a part of John Hughes' body of work,
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like there are some really frivolous themes in John Hughes stuff, and then there's some pretty heavy stuff. Like what
Yeah.
Cameron was going through is like pretty heavy stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think he walks that line really nicely. And one thing I was thinking about is this like. This rub between the adults and the youth in movies, particularly in terms of John Hughes, like The Breakfast Club. I feel like there's a lot of control that's happening there. They're in detention, and that comes through with Edward R. Rooney's character pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have like Pretty in Pink and 16 Candles, which it seems like the adults are all like kind of benign.
Yeah, they don't really exist.
Yeah, they're like
They're wallpaper.
there, but they're definitely it's not like controlling.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's like Ferris Bueller's Day Off does such a nice job of like having both of that frivolity and lightness as well as that.
Yeah. Now, did you guys know John Hughes wrote this movie in a week?
Did not know that either.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. The movie takes place across 9 hours, and he wrote it in a week.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
All right, Erin, you seem to be the only dissenting voice here. I want to hear from you.
It's a light descent.
Yeah, but still. Tell me your thoughts.
No, I am a little bit indifferent.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't have a lot of great things to say, and I don't have a lot of negative things to say.
So, okay, favorite part of it and least favorite part of it.
This feels like a
You're
intense interview.
just go to the least favorite because
Uh,
it doesn't seem like you have a
The
favorite.
parade.
spot.
I don't know that I got the parade.
That's
The
your
parade-
least favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, and I agree with it because it totally doesn't make sense.
Except it's so very Ferris, where they
It is.
give
I know,
him, they
it
give
seems
him
like a
Give
the
him the
baton at the
moment.
end.
Well,
and
well,
But
if-
it being a dream,
Yeah.
Now
if
it
we're,
makes sense.
If we're keeping with the theory that it's all in Cameron's head, he's talking to Sloane while his imagination's running wild.
right? Yeah, no, legit.
Yeah.
But in just strictly movie sense, it makes no sense.
Sure.
No, I have always wondered why there was a parade in the middle of the day.
During a school day, which
Yeah.
would have to be a
Well,
weekday.
I would guess
Yeah.
it's a Friday.
There's hundreds of thousands of people at this
I'm
parade.
never gonna say no to a choreographed dance scene
No,
that
that's
seems
true.
to happen spontaneously. That's always
Yeah.
going to be okay with me in a movie.
Kenny Ortega directed it. He choreographed it.
The dance scene.
Yeah, and he of course
I'm not
later
sure
went
I'm
on to do
okay with it.
Dirty Dancing and
Yeah,
High
that
School
makes
sense.
Musical. But
I'm still not sure I'm okay with it just doesn't fit. I mean, I get like going to the expensive lunch and driving all over in the Ferrari and
I liked the lunch. That might have been my favorite.
going
part.
to a ball game. I get that, but a parade, like it just doesn't seem to. But it makes sense with the whole dream thing.
But then there's the theme of like people, several different characters sing Dankeschön throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Rooney does at one point, the sister does at one point, and of course Ferris does like early on in the movie, and then of course that.
I did like the Star Wars.
Oh yeah, well they're
Yeah,
flying
the
in
Star
the car.
Wars moments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it was interesting how I threw that in there.
Okay, so everybody's favorite scene. Let's talk about that.
Let's start with Andy.
My favorite scene.
Your favorite scene in the movie?
I think it's the initial like intro into who Ferris is, because it's over the top a little bit, and the parents are like whatever, but then he like stops and explains everything in just a very skilled, neat way, and to me that starts the movie off, and it's a great way to intro a movie like this, because you're not expecting, you don't really know it's Ferris Bueller's Day Off, so. What does that mean? And they're like, here it is.
Yeah.
And I just thought I like the way they start the movie.
And you find out who he is pretty quick.
Yeah, he's slick.
And
He's away.
And he does have he has a clear concept of how a system works.
Right.
Yep.
And that's a really great thing for a human being, but like that's a great thing for a character. He's like semi-omniscient.
Yeah.
I wonder what he would be doing now.
Yeah, I was
that's
actually thinking
easy
about
to-
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think lawyer.
Let's in 5 years, let's have a catch up with Ferris Bueller, you
Yeah.
know? Like, let's have a movie made that's...
Yeah. I'd like to see one now that he's in his, I guess he's in his
He's gotta be a
60s,
fast-talking
50s.
lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh, easy. Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a Ferrari car salesman.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you got to be able to talk
Yeah.
for selling
There is
Ferrari.
something salesy about him for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. What about you? Favorite scene?
I hate to piggyback off of Andy's, but there is something just brilliant when he's like creating the knot to go. He's like setting up the dummy in the bed for when the mom comes
Right.
home, and he's like explaining it out, and he's like, a lot of people are gonna tell you to go with the phony fever, like don't do it. Like it is. And then what I like also is that you see also that he's kind of like how privileged he is too, because he's like, I got a computer, my sister got a car. You know, like
sure.
he's complaining multiple times that he doesn't have a
computer
car.
in 1985 is not cheap.
No, that's
Home
an
computer,
incredible,
yeah.
and like he's got
Yeah.
this amazing sound system. He has multiple instruments. He doesn't want
Right.
for anything, and
Yeah.
still he manages to want for a car. And I like also that his intelligence comes through clearly, because he's discussing socialism and Europe, and it's just
Right. You can tell that he doesn't really need the education that he's getting because he's already ahead of his classmates.
right,
For sure.
right.
Yeah. Aaron, what'd you think? Favorite scene?
I liked the restaurant scene.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going with that one.
It's a good scene.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to.
That's fair.
So for me, favorite scene is the lead up from the phone call where Rooney is talking to who he thinks is Ferris, then realizes it's Sloane's dad, then realizes it's not Ferris, and then that, like, the energy of that scene where you first see Ferris and Cameron working together
Yep.
to run a con.
Yeah.
That's very cool to me.
Yeah.
Like the frenetic pace, and when they're like slapping and kicking each other and knocking the phone out of each other's hands and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
The only part I wish in that scene that
Mhm.
they would have left out is the really weird gestures between the principal and the secretary. I didn't quite
it's really
understand a lot of.
slapsticky.
I think it was a
Yeah.
little bit too much. If
Yeah.
they'd have left some of that out, I think that would definitely be one of my top. But it's too like chaotic and like totally not.
Well, but I think the chaos is good though, because it shows you that they're the ones that are panicked. Meanwhile, Ferris and Cameron, for the most part, this isn't their first con. This is something
Yeah,
they're
they are
yeah.
partners in crime.
Well, and not to
Yeah.
mention the scene where the secretary is talking about how Ferris always makes him look like an ass.
Yeah. Right.
And this
Yeah.
is just positive proof of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the big question is, we all have our favorites parts of this movie and our least favorite parts.
Mm-hmm.
Would you recommend this movie if someone said, "Hey, what movie should we watch today?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. Like if you're with friends just hanging out.
When you find out somebody hasn't seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you like it does give you pause. Like,
Yeah, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if nothing else, it's a rite of passage. I think
Mhm.
you have to. In terms of least favorite scenes,
Yeah,
I think anything shot in the school is painful to watch.
but I think that's intentional.
Oh yes, I agree.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could do with less of that.
Oh, well, I think as much as it needed to be there, but oh my goodness.
My
Every
least
bit about it is
favorite
painful.
scene for me is that shaky camera shot down the hallway
Oh, where
Yeah,
they're the genie at
where
the end.
Jeannie is doing the voiceover.
The
Yeah.
creepy,
You're-
creepy sister.
Yeah, it's very Blair Witch Project and doesn't fit in with the rest of the film to me.
Yeah, it is kind of out there a little poltergeist almost.
Mm-hmm.
See, for me, my least favorite was the car backing off through the glass because I love cars.
Because you
Love
love
cars.
cars,
It
yeah.
broke my heart.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And I love how they're shocked by it. They have a single jack on the back bumper and he's kicking the front of it and it goes backwards while in
How-
reverse.
How could that
So, but outside of that, I would recommend it. It's a fun, quirky movie that creates conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well.
just no 10-year-olds in the room.
that's
About
probably
10
fair.
minutes. Yeah, that's
We
fair.
learned a lesson.
Okay, so are we doing thumbs up, thumbs down, or middle?
Well, I think
Middle?
Middle.
so. I would go thumbs up
I'm going thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
only because it's a thing that I watched several times as growing up, and it's kind of a, it's a fun movie. Looking back at it as an adult, I'd still give it a thumbs up. It's a fun movie.
So we're saying it's probably like a A minus, B plus, somewhere in there. Didn't get all 4 thumbs up, but got 3.
That was impressive.
Okay,
So
well, so that's the first episode of Home Movie Club, and we hope you'll tune in next time where we pick another film and discuss. Thanks so much for watching.